I wouldn't consider myself a shy person, but this whole YouTube thing is super intimidating for me, and I only get shy when I set up my tripod and camera to shoot a video. Okay.
You have to be your biggest fan.
Something that I feel like a lot of professional YouTubers leave out when they're making those videos that are like, things I wish I knew if I was starting a YouTube channel in 2023. They're always talking about how hard posting your first video is. What they forget to tell you is that posting your first video is not even like half of your problems, because the biggest problems you have as a beginning YouTuber is shooting your video. You can't even begin to think about posting your own video until you've shot your video. And then before you can even shoot your video, you have to script out your video. But then you have to read the words and shoot your video with the script that you just prepared for yourself without sounding like a robot, like sound like a human being. So it's like, posting is literally the least of your problems. But all of that to say that like, this is as intimidating as everyone makes it out to be, and no less. And every time I script out a video or like set up my camera, my battery dies before I even finish the script because I'm so bad at talking in front of the camera. But we're here, let's get into it. This is the third time that I've shot this video. I'm shooting this again. I went through it 3 times before. I'm gonna go through it again and hopefully I sound not like a robot. I don't know how I did that. And you just do things. You do things that you like wouldn't normally do, because talking to a camera is fucking weird. Okay, and I think we can all agree that it's weird. But let's get into it. Hi, my name's Anna. I'm 29 years old and I just launched my first cleaning company in Portland, Oregon 4 months ago. I've honestly always wanted to start a YouTube channel, like I feel like everybody else in the world, but I was just like too scared to do it and just put it off for the longest time. But I'm deciding to finally go after it so that I can document my first year in business, so that in 5 years I can have these videos to hopefully look back on and see how far I've come. So a year ago, I moved to Portland, Oregon from Kansas. I was born and raised in Kansas. So this was my first move out of state, away from all my friends and family, which in retrospect was a really big fucking deal. And I think if I thought about it any more than I did, I never would have done it, because it wasn't until after moving to Portland, like 6 months in, that I was like, holy fucking shit, I am so far away. Like it wasn't until I drove my car from Kansas across to the Pacific Northwest that I was like, oh my God, I'm closer to the ocean than I am to my friends and family. Like that's so wild, especially being someone who's been landlocked their entire fucking life. It was wild, and yeah, it was, looking back, a way bigger deal than I made it out to be, but I'm so happy that I didn't think about it and I just went for it, because it was like the best thing that I could have done for my life. And 10 out of 10 recommend it to anyone who hasn't left their hometown yet. If you've thought about it, do it. Stop thinking about it, do it. Before I moved, I owned a plant shop called The Little Shop. I opened that before the pandemic, and I ran it during the pandemic as well. Before the pandemic, I was a server at a brewery. I never finished college. Not that smart. I wouldn't say I'm not that smart. I'm just like not that book smart. I definitely wasn't like a dedicated student. Like I didn't have the attention span for school. It was just very long and miserable for me. And I was pretty bad at it. And college to me just like was not the answer. As someone who barely graduated high school with a 2.0 GPA, college didn't seem like that thing. And it also was like a very expensive thing. Like that very expensive thing for that to not be your thing. It was like, oh, it's like probably cheaper. This is not my thing. In my early 20s, I was introduced to the world of fintech and entrepreneurship. I worked from home for a tech company during a time where I feel like a lot of people weren't working from home, like especially people in the Midwest, like didn't really know what like fintech was, and they definitely like were not working from home until the pandemic happened. And everyone that I told that I was like working from home for a tech company was just like, what are you doing? Like, is it a scam? Are you okay? Like blink twice if you need help. But it ended up being like a totally legit thing that's taught me a lot. And I'm super like grateful for all of the opportunities that it brought me. So yeah, working from home at a tech company really taught me a lot of valuable knowledge about business in general. And once I was introduced to that space, I just knew that I wanted to have my own business someday. So here we are. Of course, like the plant shop was my first real business, but I feel like the plant shop was like the first place that I was able to take all the information that I learned from working in the tech startup space and kind of reading more about business in general and learning more about that I was actually able to apply it to the plant shop. And so a lot of the plant shop was me just like doing things for the first time and just kind of like running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I didn't really know what I was doing. I honestly couldn't believe that I was able to just like work for myself, or that someone rented a business establishment to me so I could work for myself and run my own business. Like that was kind of wild to me. But yeah, I was able to do that. That was a lot of fun. Didn't really understand the whole accounting thing or like how to make it profitable. I also realized very quickly that like retail was not my thing. I fucking hated it. I don't like shopping personally. And I loved what I had created with the brand of the little shop, but I did not like buying things that people did not need and then having to convince them to buy those things. I don't know, I didn't like it. I liked hanging out with my customers and I liked shooting content, which is why I'm here. But I didn't like running a plant, or I didn't like running a shop. The plants were cool, but then like a whole separate video probably. When I got into plants, there were not a lot of people my age into plants. Then the pandemic happened, opened the plant shop, everyone loved plants, and I find myself like not about them now because they're everywhere. And maybe that makes me a hipster, I don't know, but I'm just not about it. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, I feel like the plant shop prepared me for like everything that, like all of the lessons learned from the plant shop, I'm able to apply it to the cleaning business now. So I feel like this is like my second child, if you will. Like I made all my mistakes there, and I know that there's more mistakes to come, but they're more educated, knowledgeable mistakes. And I feel like I can make better decisions now that I've like done this once. It just kind of feels a little bit easier and breezier, which is a great place to be. This channel is going to be dedicated to all things business. I'm going to take you guys along with me as I operate the very beginning stages of running a cleaning business. I'm also going to share with you guys everything that I'm doing, the systems and tools and lessons learned along the way. I do have a lot of big goals for myself this year, financially and just personally and professionally, because I am turning 30 in May, and the success of this business has a lot to do with all of the other goals that I've set for myself. So I feel like it's just a really critical time in my life. Not that like turning 30 is like the end of the world, because I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I feel like I've fucked off a lot in my 20s, and I don't really have a lot to show for it besides like experience that I really need to put to good use before I turn like 50, you know? Sometime before 50 would be cool if I could just like figure it out. I really want to get to a place of financial independence and stability. I feel like I've put off a lot of things in my life, like being married and like having kids. Two things I'm not really sure if I'll ever want, but two things I've definitely had the opportunity to have and that I've strategically put off because I want to get to a place in my life that like I'm able to provide for myself and my future family if that happens. I don't ever want to have to rely on anyone ever. Just not happening. Not in the cards for me. The only person responsible for me is me. So yeah, all these financial goals and personal goals and professional goals that I've set for myself are like in preparation for just like hopefully this like great life that I plan on having and providing for myself and like my kids and my partner if that happens. But yeah, if you're interested in starting your own cleaning company or you're just simply along for the ride, please like this video and subscribe to this channel because I do plan on posting regularly and keeping you guys up to date with everything going on. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.